Today I'm gonna be reviewing some Petsmart care guides. I have reviewed the fancy goldfish and koi one on my TikTok before, but I didn't go very in-depth on it, and today I am prepared to dissect them to bits and pieces. We've got this one, algae eaters, bettas, community fish, and African dwarf frogs. I'm gonna start out with the goldfish one. It might be the juiciest one too. Right off the bat, they say, contrary to popular belief, goldfish will not do well when kept in a fish bowl. Love that. Thank you, Petsmart. Okay, also right off the bat, right underneath that, it says they're schooling fish. Best kept in groups of 3 or more. I do agree, you know, they are social fish. They're not schooling fish, but they are social and should be kept in numbers. Natural diet. Algae, plants, insects, and crustaceans. Is that all they have about diet? Food, here we go. High quality goldfish flakes, pelleted food, or vegetable-based food. That's actually pretty good. I would just add like protein in there, like live or frozen protein. I like that they suggested vegetables. Or, I mean, it says vegetable-based, but you know. This could be a lot more specific. There's not much to go off of here. Behavior. Peaceful goldfish do well in cool water, goldfish-only tanks. At room temperature, they produce a lot of waste. They are schooling by nature and do fine in schools of at least 3 in tanks that offer 20 gallons of water per goldfish. Okay, I agree with their tank size requirements. That's great. They're just not schooling fish. They do well in cold water tanks, I guess you could call it that. They're not really like an axolotl where like you would need a chiller unless you live somewhere with no AC and it's like over 80 degrees. And they are peaceful. Koi do well in large koi only aquariums. They need at least 240 gallons of water per fish, or in outdoor ponds in groups of 3 or more. Okay, now we've got some information on comet goldfish. It says they get up to 10 inches. They can get bigger than that, but that's a good type of thing for people to know that they get big. Tank size, 20 plus gallons per fish. No. Oh, I remember this. Okay, I feel like they switched the comet goldfish and fancy goldfish care information. They both grow up to the same size according to them, which is weird. They don't. Comet goldfish get bigger than fancy goldfish. And it says pond size for fancy goldfish is 240 plus gallons per fish. That definitely should be under the comet goldfish, not fancy goldfish. For comet, it says tank size 20 plus gallons. That should be for the fancy goldfish. And I reviewed this a while ago, and they still haven't fixed it. Water temperature is the same for both types of goldfish. Habitat, natural gravel and ornaments. Please don't use gravel that will fit in your goldfish's mouth. They will probably choke on it. Pretty much all those fish have to do all day is sift through the substrate looking for food. So they're going to pick up the rocks and put it in their mouth, and you know, they're all the time. It's bound to happen. Both peaceful, says they're both schooling fish, both community fish, yet they're best kept in groups exclusively of their own species. When should I contact a vet? Contact an aquatic vet if you notice the following signs. Unusual swimming pattern, thinness or decreased appetite, abdominal swelling, inflamed or discolored skin or fins clamped to the sides of the body, scraping body on rocks, flashing. That's amazing. I actually love that they recommend you bring your fish to the vet. It'd be cool if they had like maybe a guide on like different illnesses, like with illustrations that show like what different parasites look like and stuff like that. How do I set up a fancy goldfish or koi aquarium? Rinse the aquarium substrate and all the decorations and ornaments with tap water. Never use soap. Love that. Water conditioner. Fill with tap water. Lights, filter. After 24 hours, if all equipment is working properly and the desired temperature has been reached, it's time to add fish. I had a little bit of hope. It's best to add only a few hardy fish, as the tank cycling process can be stressful. Yeah, it can be so stressful that the fish can die. Why are they encouraging this for people who are obviously just starting out in this hobby? If they're reading this, who wrote this? Nitrates should be maintained under 20 parts per million. Okay, we're gonna end on a good note. Let's just end it there. Let's move on to the Bettas. This is another juicy one. I'm excited to see this. I don't think I've read this before. Oh, this is a lot smaller than the Goldfish and Koi one. I'm nervous. Ah, no, the illustration is bad. It's so bad. Oh, I'm getting stressed out just looking at it. I don't want to read it. Beautiful and solitary Bettas. Experience level beginner. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think any fish is really beginner. Size, Bettas grow up to 3 inches. Yes. Lifespan, on average, live 2 to 3 years. Maybe you should mention that they live up to 5 years. No, we're gonna aim for 2 or 3. Bettas gulp air from the water's surface to help them breathe. Because of this, they don't need to live in aerated aquariums. Yes, use their labyrinth organ. That's fine, we're gonna keep it generic. Behavior. Bettas can either be kept in a large community aquarium or in an unfiltered desktop aquarium. This is wild. Oh my god, dude. One thing at a time. I'm gonna... Yes, they can be with other fish. Only certain types of fish, but yes. Why are we suggesting that filters are an option to beginners? Wouldn't you want to recommend a filter? Because it'll make things a whole lot easier. They cannot live with other Bettas. You can keep multiple females together in a sorority, but there's very specific requirements and steps that you have to take to make sure that it's gonna go well. So I understand why they're not recommending that to beginners. I also understand that they only wanted to use this much paper for the Bettas and this much for the Goldfish, but you know, don't lie. Don't say that they can't be kept together. Females can be kept together. Can is the key word. That's just my 2 cents. How do I set up a Betta aquarium? I hate this. Your Betta requires a bowl or tank that is 3 gallons minimum, or a filtered aquarium if desired. Why a bowl? Why do we want to distort the fish's vision 24/7 with a fucking bowl? Why 3 gallons minimum? I don't even like the 5-gallon minimum that I see everywhere. I feel like 5 is fine for a long fin Betta who can't swim well, but 10 gallons is the perfect size minimum for Bettas to be able to swim around and stretch their fins, bro. They gotta be able to explore and have enrichment and have places to go that's not just here. And a 5-gallon, yeah, I hate that. I don't like that at all. Add water conditioner or dechlorinator prior to adding the Betta to their aquarium and fill it up halfway. Put in your rocks, ornaments, then fill the rest of the tank with dechlorinated water. Love that. Water temperatures ranging between 74 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Yay. Place your Betta in their aquarium. Just like that. They're not even gonna try to suggest cycling it like they did. They mentioned cycling, at least in the Goldfish one. They said put them in and cycle it at the same time and it's gonna be stressful, which I don't like. But this one just doesn't even want you to know what cycling is. Place your Betta in their aquarium inside their bag for 15 minutes so it can get used to the water temperature. Yeah, screw all the other water parameters they have to get used to. Only the temperature matters. Frequent water testing and changing, at least 10% weekly or 25% monthly. That amount is going to change tank to tank, but I do like the suggestion of frequent water testing and changing. What should I feed my Betta? Flake or pelleted food? This is a staple of their diet. I have gone through dozens of scientific studies on Betta diet because there is so much misinformation on it. Pellets and flakes are not a staple. If anything, they are just something to give them in addition to live and frozen proteins. They are carnivorous and they do need a high amount of protein, which is why you need to give them mostly live and frozen foods. Treats. Offer thawed, frozen, or freeze-dried brine shrimp or tubifex worms. Those are your only 2 options. That is not a treat. That is the, main thing that they should be eating. I don't like freeze-dried anything for fish. It's got a lot of air in it. It doesn't have as much nutrients as if you just got the frozen version. I get that it's faster to feed them the freeze-dried, but it's also not as good for them. So how can I keep my betta healthy? Contact an aquatic vet or speak with... See, would they say this about a dog or a cat? If you see that your dog or cat is sick, take him to the vet or just talk to a Petsmart employee. Either one's fine. Shopping checklist. Oh no. What? What will I need from my betta? 1 half-gallon fish bowl or larger, or small filtered aquarium. Why are we encouraging people to get a small aquarium? Also, they just said right here, your betta requires a bowl or tank that is 3 gallons minimum. Now they're saying 1 half-gallon is fine? Who made these? Are they okay? Okay, that's that. Mix these up. I don't know which one I'm gonna get next. I'm gonna do this one. African dwarf frogs. Let's go. Oh, it's another small one. This is all we got. They have lungs and breathe air at the water's surface. African dwarf frogs can grow up to 1.5 inches. Yes. They live for approximately 5 to 7 years. Yes. Can live with tropical freshwater community fish of their size, but may eat smaller fish. Yes. This is great so far. I love this. An African dwarf frog aquarium. They actually have like an actual aquarium illustrated for this, and not for bettas. This is shocking. I figured this would be a small tank like the betta one too. So these guys move even less. How do I set up an African dwarf frog aquarium? A 5-gallon aquarium can comfortably house 1 to 2 African dwarf frogs. For more than 2 and with community fish, use at least a 20-gallon tank. I would recommend at least 10 gallon. I have 3 in a 10-gallon. Why 5 gallons? And why not 5 gallons for bettas? Put aquarium gravel and or sand. I would not recommend gravel. These guys are blind as a bat and clumsy as hell, and they will eat the substrate. If you're gonna use gravel, at least use a feeding dish to put their food in so that when they're trying to eat, they don't accidentally eat gravel. Fill half the aquarium with dechlorinated water. Add a power filter. Recommend a filter for these guys, not for bettas. Why? Filter that circulates the water in the aquarium 3 to 5 times per hour. I didn't see that in the other guides. Or the direct sunlight thing. It's like they ran out of stuff to say about the frogs. They were like, let me give them a little more information this time. Add at least 1 submerged cave for your frog to hide. I've actually seen people recommend to not have things like that they can get trapped under because they need to go up and get air. Circulate the water for 24 hours, then add up to 3 frogs inside their bags to the tank for 10 to 15 minutes to acclimate. I don't know why they had to say how many frogs per bag to acclimate. What if you only bought 2? Okay, and we've been over this. Why 24-hour cycle? When? Where? How? For a beginner, they didn't say anything about taking bacteria from an existing tank and filter media and putting it in there. No. 70 to 82 degrees. Okay, that's good. What should I feed them? Pelleted food. Choose pellets that sink to the bottom of the tank. Treats. Offer a small amount of thawed, frozen, or freeze-dried brine shrimp. Why are the healthier foods being called treats? And bloodworms are kind of a treat. They're a little fatty, but the other frozen and live foods that you can give them are healthier than any pellet could ever be, especially because they're also carnivores like bettas. Are we doing algae eaters or community fish next? What's it gonna be? Community fish. I've had cardinal tetras, I've had guppies, platies, swordtails, and that's it. So those are the ones I'm gonna go over. When keeping fish as pets, there are no guarantees that the fish will get along. You should always monitor your fish for signs of aggression and be prepared to relocate the aggressor from the aquarium. That is very true, actually. I had a guppy that was the devil. It can also be helpful to rearrange or add decor to create additional territories and hiding places. That is so true. Guppy, size, up to 2.5 inches. Yes. Tank size, 10 plus gallon. Okay. I would say 20, but okay. Water temp, 78 to 80. Okay, yeah, cool, love it. Habitat, natural gravel and a few ornaments or rocks. Really setting the bar kind of low there. Just a few ornaments and rocks. Not gonna suggest any plants. Behavior, peaceful. Yeah. Schooling, yes. No, they're not. But will do well individually. What? No. You're gonna say they're a schooling fish and they can also be alone? What? But they're social, they should be kept in groups, but they are not a schooling fish. They don't school together. Monitor males for aggression. Very true. They didn't say anything about the female to male ratio. You want to have 2 to 3 females per male. Food, high quality tropical fish flakes and frozen fish food occasionally. I would add boiled vegetables. They're grouping together Danios, minnows, rasboras, and tetras for this. I don't know how I feel about that. There's a lot of different types of Danio, a lot of different types of rasboras, a lot of different types of tetras, and minnows. So that is a lot of fish that they're saying all have the exact same care requirements. I have only owned tetras from this list, cardinal tetras to be exact. So I'm gonna see how accurate this is. Size up to 3 inches, already wrong. Tank size, 10 plus gallon. I would say 20 plus. I think these are all schooling fish, so they should probably all have 20 plus. Water temp, 78 to 82. Okay. Habitat, natural gravel and decor. Heavily planted preferred. Oh, love that. They said something about plants for once. Schooling, yes. Finally, they got that right. Okay. Best kept in groups of 5 or more of the same species. That's awesome. The other fish that they say are schooling, they usually say just 3 or more. Same diet as the guppies, basically, for the tetras. I just want to add, for the community fish, this tank that they illustrated doesn't even look big enough. It doesn't even look comfortable for all the fish they drew in there. Platies, swordtails, and variatus. I've only had platies and swordtails, so we're gonna check those out. Size up to 3 inches. That is different for platies and swordtails. Platies are going to stay around 2 inches. Swordtails can get like up to 5 inches long, bro. They can get, their sword can get really freaking long. Tank size, 10 plus gallon. For platy, you can get away with 10 gallon, I guess. Swordtail, you can't. They get too big for that. Water temp, 78 to 80. Cool. Natural gravel. Few ornaments and rocks. Setting standards pretty low once again. Schooling, yes. No, not really. Same diet as the other guys. Let's move on to algae eaters. I'm nervous for this one. It's a big one too, like the goldfish one. Natural diet, algae. Really? Some plants, some wood, and some other food sources such as crustaceans. I love that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go to small Plecostomus species. I have a bristlenose pleco, so let's check this out. Size up to 6 inches. Great. Tank size 20 plus gallons. Great. Temperature 78 to 82. Great. Natural gravel, ornaments in driftwood. Amazing. Food. Available algae, appropriately sized sinking vegetable-based pellets and vegetables. Yeah, that's great. And plus proteins. Where's the protein? They just said they eat crustaceans sometimes in the generic section. Weird. Okay. Common pleco. Tank size 125 plus gallons. Maybe even more. Habitat's the same as everybody else. How do I set up an algae eater aquarium? It's pretty much all the same stuff as all of the other care guides. including adding the fish after 24 hours. And I don't want to read anymore. Thanks for watching this video. I'm severely disappointed in Petsmart, even more so than before. I didn't think that could actually happen, but it did today. And you saw it happen. Like the video if you liked it. Comment your opinion on Petsmart if you got this far in the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.
Action.
Welcome to the video.
Should I comment?
Well,
Seriously.